Hey, what's going on everybody, this is Alvi from Techitron, and today I am reviewing the Xiaomi Redmi 4X. This smartphone is known globally as the Xiaomi Redmi 4X, but in India only it's called the Xiaomi Redmi 4, so make sure you don't confuse the two of them. The device I'm holding here is the 2GB RAM and 16GB built-in storage version, and it costs 12,990 taka from peekaboo.com, who by the way were generous enough to send this phone in for a review. The international prices and everything else are in the description below, along with the links to where you can purchase them from, so definitely check out the description for more details, along with more detailed specifications. I'll save you a bunch of time right now. If your budget is within 12 and 14,000 taka, just buy this. And that's it, end of the review. Thanks for watching everyone, like, share and subscribe and blah 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 blah. But really, if this is your budget, buy this phone and continue watching to find out why I think it is the best in this price category. First of all, the build quality on the smartphone is great. Most of the body is made of metal except for the top and bottom pieces, which are made of plastic, but really with this black color I could hardly even distinguish between those two. The buttons on the right hand side of the phone are also made of metal, and they're just the right type of clicky. On the opposite side, you'll find a hybrid SIM card slot, which can either house 2 SIMs or 1 microSD card and 1 SIM card. On the bottom of the device, you'll see what looks like 2 speaker grills, but obviously only one of them is a speaker and the other one is the microphone. But fortunately for us over here, even though the audio wasn't super loud, even at maximum volume there was hardly any distortion, so you could enjoy the content on this without much annoyance. On the back of the smartphone there is a fingerprint scanner, which is easily within reach, but I have to say that it needs a little bit of a speed boost. It's not the slowest thing out there and it's not the fastest thing out there. It's somewhere within the middle ground. But having said that, it's a very accurate scanner and I hardly ever had any troubles unlocking the phone with it. Along the bottom of the phone is a row of capacitive buttons which do not light up, but hey, right under the middle home button is a notification LED, so I'm kind of happy with that. If you take a look at the top side, you'll find that there's actually an IR sensor there. Quite interesting. And I think this is the point where I should also mention that we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. For everyone in the audience that hate MediaTek, rejoice, because we have an octa-core Snapdragon 435 CPU clocked at 1.4 GHz built into this phone, along with 2GB of RAM and 16GB of built-in storage, which by the way is expandable up to 128GB. But that's not what impressed me the most about the specifications. What impressed me the most was the insane battery life. This tiny phone has a 4100 mAh battery, and when compared to my Google Pixel over here, which has a 2770 mAh battery, it's really night and day. Just look at these phones side by side. They're so similar in size, yet one has 4100 and the other is just an embarrassment next to it. So good job Xiaomi with that massive battery. With that battery, I got 1.5 days of use when I was using the phone on heavy, but when I had a more of a moderate workload, I got through 2 days consistently. So I am very happy with the battery life. This phone also has a boatload of sensors, so if you want to take a look at every single sensor that's packed in, pause the screen right now. Gaming on this device was a bit odd. See, GTA San Andreas and Modern Combat 5 ran without a hitch and I enjoyed the gameplay experience quite a bit, but oddly enough, when I was playing Asphalt Extreme and Asphalt 8, there was an unnecessary amount of lag in the gameplay. Right now, I think that's more something to do with optimizations with this particular chipset or this particular device, but really I just couldn't explain why this phone lagged the way it did in these two games. But if there is any update, I'll definitely leave it in the description, so keep an eye open for those. If you're worried about this phone getting hot, by the way, don't. At best, it gets a little warm and it's never uncomfortable to the touch. I want to talk about the software next because frankly, MIUI is getting tiring. On this phone we have MIUI 8 with Android 6.0 Marshmallow with an update to Nougat coming very soon. Fingers crossed it comes fast. So yeah, MIUI is it's just too slow in my opinion. I'll be absolutely 100% honest with you. The device's interface itself is actually not that bad, but the main home screen launcher just feels unnecessarily sluggish, and it's just holding back an otherwise snappy smartphone. So what did I do? Obviously, I downloaded Nova Launcher, bada boom, bada bing, perfect. There was really no issue with the animations and the transitions anymore, and the phone just felt like 100 times better. I really hope this silly little thing about the MIUI launcher is addressed in the Nougat update, but until then, download something else and you'll be good to go. Out of the box, the screen looked a little too warm for me, but fortunately you can go into the settings and adjust the color temperature so that it looks a bit better, and after I did that, I didn't really have any complaints about it. The screen is a 5-inch IPS panel and it has a 720p resolution, and given the size, it looks quite sharp. It also has 2.5D curved Gorilla Glass on top, but oddly enough, we don't know what type of Gorilla Glass it is. So you have protection, but you don't know what type of protection it is. As this is an IPS display, viewing angles were obviously great, and after adjusting the color temperature, colors looked very nice too. But I did feel that the brightness should have been a bit higher, as I did have a little bit of difficulty looking at the screen outdoors. The main camera is a 13 megapixel sensor with an f2.0 aperture, which uses phase detection autofocus. The front-facing camera is a 5 megapixel sensor and has got an f2.2 aperture. So these cameras do quite well in daylight situations. If you just take a look at all these photos, you find that there's a nice bit of dynamic range as well as some good depth of field. The colors look a little oversaturated, but that's something that I can overlook, as overall the images just look quite nice. There is a bit of over sharpening, but not by too much to a point where it'll get annoying. The front-facing camera is more of the same case as well, and you get all those basic beauty modes and whatever else if you want to play around with those. In low light there's obviously some noise, but I'll have to say the 4X actually held up admirably in low light shooting conditions. In my previous Xiaomi reviews, I complained about how there is a lack of a full manual mode on this camera, and the same is true for the Redmi 4X. There is no proper manual mode, and I'm not even sure if this will be addressed with the Nougat update, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But for now, this phone does great with default settings. If you watched this video so far, you might be wondering why I told you to go buy this phone at the beginning of the review. I mean, what's so great about it, right? But trust me, I do have a good answer. So, this phone has its flaws, no doubt. I mean, I did miss full manual controls on the camera, I don't like the MIUI on this phone, and I found it odd that it lagged on Asphalt Extreme. But the pros more than outweigh the cons in this case. You get a very good camera, you get a Snapdragon CPU, which I know a lot of people will be happy about. You also get great build quality, along with a surefire update to Android 7.0 Nougat, which is actually quite important to me. You get a boatload of sensors as well as an IR blaster on top of that. And all these small things, they add up pretty quickly. But the most important part, at least for me, was that I loved using this phone every single day, and that is why I am recommending it to you. Now, this phone costs 12,990 taka, and as I mentioned before, provided to us by our friends at peekaboo.com, links in the description below, as well as detailed specifications and international prices and links. So if you're interested, and if you think that this is within your budget, then what are you still doing watching this video? Go buy it. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. It got a little bit longer than I wanted, but I think so long as I'm providing everyone out there with all the important information, it's worth it. All our social media and everything else are linked in the description below, so definitely check us out over there. If you liked it, like, share, and subscribe, and definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And I think I should also mention that we've got a giveaway of this smartphone coming soon, within the next week or two. So if you want to stay updated on that, definitely subscribe and stay tuned and support us. Thanks you for watching. This is Alavi, and I hope to see you in another video. Dogo. What else don't I like? Kind of forgot.